Hey guys, welcome back. Better Than a Let's Play, episode 35 of season 2. I'm Enigmius, and today we're doing kind of a tour. It's not going to be a very long episode. We've got a lot of things done, and some of them are very interesting, but we've had some technical difficulties that were resolved by axing a bunch more mods from the pack. It's getting almost funny now. Something goes wrong with the game, I check the log, I see a mod name, I disable the mod, and everything works again. It's amazing how that happens. I've decided that since so much of this mod is based around the mod pack is based around magic, and to a lesser extent organic growery of things, that it would make sense if we had a place to grow things. So I've built this kind of garden sort of thing. You can't really appreciate from this angle, but if we come up here, you can kind of see a little bit better what's going on. Each of those squares is a 16 block place where we can plant things that's segregated from other things so that I don't accidentally pull up, crops and things when I'm harvesting them accidentally. There's a little bit of distinction from one another, and there's a lot of them, so I can plant a lot of different things, and that's really about as far as I got, was just getting this set up and testing to make sure that all the plots are getting water and we can hoe them and all that other stuff. And then I kind of have to look into all the different things that we're going to plant and find out if there's anything special I need to know ahead of time what's going on with them. There's like the mandrake seeds, which I know the mandrakes will come after you sometimes. And then there's essence seeds, and there's something about those and all that other stuff. So there's a lot of time that goes into just learning the ropes and what the different seeds do. I've got a gold chest almost full of different kinds of seeds at this point. And I've also spent a fairly substantial amount of time just landscaping the front lawn, as it were, getting it all leveled out, getting all the weeds and stuff cleared out of the way so that we've got room to work. This area out here, this big wide open area, is going to be where we end up doing most of our magic related stuff. So we're going to have our garden here, our magic stuff here, and then all of our tech stuff in the back. Now this is actually one of the better angles to see. I've added another section to the roof of the rear courtyard where all of our tech stuff is, just to keep meteorites from crashing down into them, and also monsters from spawning and sort of having their way everywhere. We still get monsters back there, but it's not as bad as it was, and it kind of fits with the theme of the swept forward kind of design that the other guys are in. It's not just a straight line, even though realistically it looks like it from here. We'll fly up in a second and take a look, and of course, what would a world be without another portal? The Nether is not a stable place to be right now. The last time I was there, the game was crashing repeatedly on me every time I went into the Nether, so I've made some changes. I think we should be okay for now, but I'm not in the mood to test it just yet. I've got what I need out of the Nether anyways for the time being, so as far as what we're trying to do, this can just sit here. We've got the wedge blocks here that like to change color. That's the color they're supposed to be, but the lighting and the shading and stuff, they don't do the grays so well. They prefer the greens, as we've learned. So let's kind of fly up here. Let's see if we can without bursting into flames. And you can sort of get a better idea of what I was talking about with that middle roof segment. It's actually larger than the ones on either side, and it comes together in the middle, unlike these ones on either side, which are parted. And then it's got that swept, sort of rounded design, which I kind of like. It's working for me. In fact, since we're back into the position where everything is just gray, we can go like this. You can see, looking at the mini-map, the way the overlap goes with all the rounded things, and then we've got the rounded things here, and then we've got a big garden here with blue lines and white lines and plots for gardening stuff. And this is where, if we were in the Nether, this would be the coordinates for the Nether portal that would take us back to the overworld, but we're not in the Nether, so it's kind of a meaningless waypoint. But yeah, it's coming together. We're getting things done, but a lot of my time has been tweaking this monstrosity, this massive system of liquids and gases and things that just never seem to quite sync up which is good. As far as mod design, having a system where you have to kind of set it up and it works, and then you come back to it and maybe something's a little bit out of whack, so it's not quite running as efficiently as it could. In my case, we're still having issues where we're not using enough of a certain kind of gas, so that stops the production of the other because we're splitting them into two, and the machine says, well, I'm full on one, so we're not making any more of the other. You're kind of screwed there. So a lot of mucking about there. I've made... This was kind of odd. I needed to make some igneous extruders to make cobblestone so that I don't have to worry about mining for cobblestone all the time when I need sulfur to run the ore processing thing. For whatever reason, I got it in my head that I needed 20 of them. I think what actually happened is I got it in my head that I needed 10, and then I messed up the calculations when I was figuring out how to make 10 of them, and I wound up coming up with components to make 20, so that's what I made. And they're all disabled now because they produce way too much cobblestone than I'm able to process. But it also gives me the option if I want smooth stone or if I want obsidian, relatively quick and easy. I'm out of lava for now, but you know how it is. When you've got igneous extruders, things just work a little bit better. I've got this, which is my smeltery, and it looks very, very dark. Even though if you get close, you can see it. It does actually have textures for everything. It's just, they're all very, very black. Even though I've got white lights on them, they might as well be solid black for all practical intents and purposes. But you can see there's a little bit of detail. And I'm messing around a bit with using liquiducts to extract the molten materials and put them into the casting basins. I haven't tried it yet. I just basically got it set up, and you can see, actually, because there's nothing in it right now, let's just make sure that I'm using that guy. I've got the red alloy wire going around so that I can transmit a redstone signal to all of the liquiducts or fluid ducts, as the case may be, to get them to empty into the basins. We'll see. We'll see how it works when I actually have some material in here to work with, because right now I don't. Now this is the star of the show. It's not done yet because I've run out of materials. This is our reactor, or it will be our reactor when it's done. This is from the Big Reactors mod. You can see here I'm highlighting the reactor redstone port, and it tells you it's from Big Reactors. We've got the reactor glass, so of course we want to see inside what's going on. One thing that I'll point out from the very beginning is that, as far as I understand it, Big Reactors has plans, or I should say the dev for Big Reactors has plans to incorporate a meltdown functionality in the future, where if you do things really, really wrong, it'll cause an explosion. For now, there is nothing of the sort. So basically, it's just a question of how do you want to set up your reactor, and based on that, how much energy are you going to get out of it based on how much fuel you put in. The better you set it up, the better the ratio. You'll have to use less fuel for more energy. It's a better deal for everyone. So that's kind of what I'm working on. But this was one of those projects where I started looking at it, and then I said, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, then I need to do that, which means that I should do this first, and then over there I'll do that. And I wound up going in a great big circle. What I wanted to do was cool this with liquid ender, which is one of the better materials for cooling, which would require that I be in the end farming endermen for ender pearls, at least for a little while. That's, I mean, sort of in the mid-game spectrum of things, being able to park yourself in the end, killing endermen, is one of the better ways to accumulate ender pearls. And we do have soul shards in this mod pack where you have to kill monsters to increase the tier of the soul shard. So have one of those ready to go as well, and then just kill endermen, get the ender pearls, make the liquid, do what we have to do. In order to do that, I need to be able to get to and from the end after we've killed the ender dragon, so that I can go and farm whatever I need to whenever I want to. To do that, I've disabled Mistcraft from this pack, so I would have to use the Enhanced Portals mod, which requires all kinds of different power things. I kind of overestimated how much power was required to run one of these portals, so it's not as bad as I thought, which got me to thinking I need to finish the reactor and get it running on a lesser coolant, and then we'll get the better power to run the portal to go to the end and do the stuff. It's just been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy. But basically, that's what we're going to do, is we're going to get this thing set up. at the very least, all closed off. Whether or not we run it immediately, I don't know. But there's also that option, because I overestimated how much power it takes to run the portal. We could just set up the portal, go to the end. Actually, I found the fortress that we have to go through first. Set ourselves up so we can get to and from the end with the portal. Farm the Enderman, get the liquid ender in here, do the things, do the stuff. This is not a small project, and that's fine. Because we kind of need something to keep us busy that doesn't involve adding a new one of these every other day, because this is what's going to end the series, is making too many of these. So as far as the reactor goes, I need more material to close it off. You can see this whole front area now is closed off with the reactor glass. This area over here, I've got a little bit of the reactor glass. I still need about 2/3 of it. And then all the reactor glass for the back, and all of it for the sides. I could just do basic reactor casing. Glass is easy to get. I've got my Glass King, my excavator with heat on it, so that we go to the desert and we just farm up all kinds of glass instantaneously. And then we'll get the control rod things up top. We'll get some water in there. We'll set up a turbine. And then we'll do a test run, and we'll talk about how it works, and then we'll go from there. We'll enhance our reactor and then get started on some magic. That's the plan. And it's taken me like 4 days to get to this point, because so many mods, and they don't always agree with one another on who gets what resources and why. Also, I fenced off this area back here, so unlike the front yard, this area is pretty safe from monsters. So I really love the look of this thing so far. As reactors go, it's definitely got some interest to it. Next episode, we're going to finish it off. We're going to close it in. We'll get some water in there. We'll get some yellorium or yellorite ingots in for fuel. And we'll just do a bit of a test run with the turbine. It'll be fun. So if you want to be notified when I add that episode, the easiest way to do that, as always, is to subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on the social media places for updates on when I add videos. The links for those are in the information section below the video. Please leave your comments and feedback. They are fantastic and always appreciated. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.